Hello guys and good morning. It is currently what's the time? It's 8:30 in the morning. We had snow last night, so I'm gonna go out and plow. I just had my breakfast. I'm sipping on my second little cup of coffee here. But I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about recycling jewelry, how to use them in craft, and what to think about when you do recycle old jewelry. Now this box is just filled with, I'm gonna dump it out, bonk, like that. So all of this is old jewelry that I have gotten. Well, it's other stuff too. This is rock, apparently. This is old jewelry and old balloon. No whites there. That I do reuse. And this is a wire wrapped heart that I wasn't too happy with, so I put it in here because I'm gonna cut the wire off and use the bead again and do something else. But there's a few things to think about when you recycle jewelry or recycle anything you have at home. I usually recycle like pretty much anything you can recycle. You can use parts of it. If you do mixed media, for example, it's really easy to use. I'm going to show you this first. To get these out of the way, let's see. Let's how high are you up? I was gonna say lower you, but I'm gonna put you a bit higher. So this one, it looks pretty fancy. This birdhouse came with what's it called? A flower arrangement that I got one Easter. I got the flower arrangement that had, you know, a little pot, and this birdhouse, it had a long stem, what this is called, a long stick. So it was I'm sorry. Allergy pills hasn't kicked in yet. I'm just gonna have a sip of water. There we go. Sorry about that. So that's from an old Easter decoration bowl flower arrangement thing. I just painted it to match the background. This bird up here came from another flower arrangement that I got sometime. Was it a flower arrangement? It was something. It came on. Maybe it was just stuck to a package, like for decoration on a gift, or something like that. It was actually, I think it was blue, so I just painted it. Actually did a little painting on the feathers just to match. And I need to dust this. No wonder why my allergies are going funny. This is just a seashell. Buy them at dollar store, like a big pack. That's just a cardboard heart cut out. This is not chipboard, it's cardboard. Just cut it out and painted it. And this was on something else. This was not actually a craft flower. They look like a craft flower, but it was some decoration on something that broke. And I just reused it. So this one has a lot of reused stuff on it. And then, of course, I have some stencils and I have some stamps and stuff like that. But most of the stuff here is reused. Same with this. This is an old necklace. I think I showed you this one before. So here we have an old necklace, a key, an old little toy here. Maybe I should come up a bit so you can see it better. Whoa, sorry about that. Did not mean to do that. This is a charm and some leaf from an old, you know, just silk flower, fake flower. I usually have like fake flowers stuck to the front pillars of my house. I don't know, pillars sound so fancy, but they're not. They're just wooden logs. And I have a little decoration there, and I usually put fake flowers in there, and after a while they get kind of yucky and faded. So I wash them off, and the colors are faded, but they're perfect to use for this type of stuff. Oops. Yeah, bead. So this one is also from that. Now this one lost its color because I had to reglue it because it came off. I have this in the hallway, by the way, so I kind of brush against it quite a lot. So there's that. This is from an old, it was garden decoration that had, they come up and there's a light in here. So I just, when that broke, I just pulled off all the dragonflies and using them for art and stuff. And under here you have another key and some other stuff in there. So, and 2 buttons on top of each other. Just, you know, it's, and some old lace here, and you know, it's a lot of recycled stuff if you do mixed media. So before you throw something out, take a look at it. Can I use some parts of it? Maybe you throw away some parts of it and keep a little other parts of it. So a few things to think about when you recycle jewelry or beads. I'm not gonna, well, maybe I open this. So first of all, these necklaces here, right here, are stones. I'm gonna lower you down again so I don't have to raise everything up. Hi, welcome. Can you focus too? Good phone. You're such a good phone. You're focusing. Oh, I'm happy. Okay, this stones. These are real stones. I don't know if you can tell, but one of the ways that I test if it's a stone or glass or plastic is actually by rubbing my teeth against them. So of course I wash them. I do a quick wash whenever I get them. But usually they're still a bit grimy, so they need to get washed really carefully. I'm not a fan of this necklace. I don't really like how the colors look together and stuff like that. So I'm going to take this apart. Now, if I were to sell these stones, because stone beads actually sell for quite a lot of money. So if I was just to sell the stones, now I hardly ever do that because I use them for myself, but if I was, I can't put in what type of stone they are. Because a lot of stones look extremely alike. Take this one, for example. I mean, there's 5-6 different jewelry stones that looks exactly like this and can look like this. Same with, I mean, not all purple stones are amethyst, for example. Not all black stone. I mean, you can't post what they are. You can just post they look like blah blah blah, or they natural stones, or whatever you want to put in there, but you can't put the type on if you buy them like this, because you don't 100% know unless you test them. And this was something I learned pretty recent, actually, because I was like, oh, this must be an amethyst, you know, most likely it is, but you know, doesn't have to be. There are actually several other stones. I don't remember the name of them. I'm sitting here desperately trying to think of the name of them, but I don't right now. It will probably come to me when I'm about to fall asleep tonight. That's usually when stuff pops up. Oh, that's it. You know. So anyway, so don't put up what kind of stone they are if you haven't tested them, because a lot of stones look exactly the same. So I actually bought the wrong stones from a seller once, and I was so happy because I got a really good deal on them. And then we have I'm trying to remember how far it is, but about an hour and a half drive from me, we have a place that called Kristallen, and they are doing stonework. They are doing jewelry. They are teaching classes in how to find minerals and stones in nature. They also have gold panning and gold panning courses, and they also run the Swedish Championship of gold panning. Sorry, not gold mining, gold panning. It's when you have the pan and you sort of swirl the water around. Yeah. They have also courses in that and stuff. But anyway, they test stones for a bit of money. And I was so happy, and I got them tested, and it wasn't that stone that I thought it was. So, and same here. These are also beads from recycled jewelry. I can't put in, if I make stuff from this, I can't put in oh, it's this and that stone, unless I test them. Because a lot of stones look extremely alike, unfortunately. But I love using them, so I use other words like natural stones or real stones or stuff like that. Or I might say this and that looking stone, just to cover my bases. So that's a little thing to think about. Also, not everything that shimmers is gold. Have you heard that saying before? Does this not have an opening? No, it does not. Wow, fun. I don't like necklaces that don't have an opening because, you know, this. Fortunately, this one has. What? Oh my god, I have these round beads here that are all over the place. Hey! Oh, look, you were open. Ha. Okay, so let's talk about this one. This is a really funky. You would think these, since these are ceramics. Yeah, they are. I was checking if they were stones, but of course they're not. They're ceramic beads. You would think these were glass, but they're plastic. So, like, always test your stones, see what, you know, they are, and, you know, stuff like that. First glance, when I saw this, I was like, oh, did they put a seed in there and like glazed it, or what? Oh yeah, focusing. Yeah, we can do that. We can focus. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let me tap you a bit. Tappy, tappy. There we go. So, as you can see, it has this funky sort of stripes and stuff. And I was thinking maybe it's a glazed over seed or something. Because I find a lot of old jewelry with seeds, actually. But this is ceramic bead, so you would think that these are glass bead. They are not. These are plastic. They still look kind of cool though, but I don't like using plastic beads. I don't know, it's just me. There's just something about plastic beads. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I have some stuff that are plastic beads that I wear and use, but I'm not a huge fan. And honestly, this necklace isn't a thing for me. But I did see these two guys. And these are, oh, we have the focusing issue again, do we? Do we? Yeah, you want to focus on the table. Can you focus on me? See me. Okay, so these are actually stones. So I bought this and I'm gonna take this apart and I'm gonna use these two guys. Wow, I'm going off this way again. Way! Do the same thing again. I need to know. I mean, I've been having it flipped around the other way so much that the camera was on that side of the phone and now it's on this side of the phone and I go wee and I do remember. Never mind. Okay. So I'm gonna use these, and these were in where did I get this? I think this was from a friend who just gave me a plastic bag filled with old jewelry. A lot of it broken like this, and worn out and stuff like that. But since I do so many different types of crafting, I can use anything. And if you're like me and do different types of crafting, you can do the same. So, for instance, these guys will make awesome fairy doors. So, let me just untangle one. So, all I do is just open the jump rings and I can reuse. As you can see, they have holes right through there. So, I can just put a pin through there, put it in the door, and I can maybe even have an opening fairy door from this. When it comes to chains, usually chains aren't, I don't know what's going on here, but let's move this aside. When it comes to chains, they can be really messed up. This one I thought was actually, because some chains are actually made to be kind of matte to give that kind of, what am I looking for? Help me, words. That kind of style, that kind of vibe, you know, it has to be matte. And I thought this chain was it. I thought this chain were a matte chain until I washed it. 5 times. But anyway, I was going to show you how it can look. So this is not a chain I would reuse for jewelry, because the base color of this one, maybe this will show up. It's kind of harder now to see it when I washed it. I don't know if this will come up or not. And it would be a lot easier if it was focusing on me. Me. Hey, there we go. I don't know how well you can see that, but the sort of silver on top is coming off and it's very coppery underneath. So anyway, I would not want to buy and pay money for a necklace made with a chain that hasn't, you know, all its if I buy a necklace with a silver colored chain, I want the whole thing to be silver colored and not, you know, chains. But if you're a crafter too and not just making jewelry, you can use stuff like this. You can use it for texture. I sold actually my other wand that had chains, so I took this out because I was going to use them to make wands out of polymer clay and chopsticks and beads. So that's why I brought this stuff out, because I was going to use it for texture. So what I would do is something like, you know, wrap it around like this. Now I'm going to cover these for this time. I'm going to cover them in clay first, so these will go into the clay and just, you know, wrap it around like, you know, so, and just have a cool texture to it. The last ones I made, I used glue and then you paint over it, so you won't see the chain as a chain. It will have paint on top of it. Another way you can use old chains that maybe not that pretty, maybe parts of them are pretty. This is a Pringles jar. I cut a hole in the top here to use for a money box, piggy bank and money box. So these little charms all come from old jewelry that I've taken apart. The chain is also old jewelry, and I super glued it with a bead here. For the texture on it, I used a bit of very, very fine sand. It's I don't remember what it's called. It's anti-grip sand or anti-slip sand something, and you mix it with paint and you paint like the edge of a step or something where you don't want people to slip. So I bought a little jar of that many years ago, and it lasted me a long time. So I mixed that with gesso. I take a stencil, and I actually have a brick stencil. I didn't do it that clearly on this one. You can see it a bit better here. And I did sort of random. I just put a little bit here, and I put a little bit there. And then painted it. This is a lace I glued on and just painted it. You can see the brick texture a bit more on the top. So this is a way to use old jewelry. I have another one here that I use for a vase for fake flowers. And again, I used lace. I used the same brick stencil here, did the same way. But I also put this chain here, for example, was pretty tired and jaded, so I used it here. These guys had lost their sheen, and I was honestly, yeah, focus also. Focus. Thank you. You can focus. You're such a good phone today. You can focus. Okay, so these are also a blingy part of a necklace, and it was broken, and I just figured they would be good for crafting. Here we have another chain, and I put some charms on there that come from other jewelry. So you can buy, I know secondhand stores has broken jewelry. You can find that. I actually saw on eBay, there was a jar with broken jewelry, you know, pretty cheap. So these are, again, just super glued, and I put a flower on top just to hide the little glue spot. Here you can see I missed a bit, so flower came a bit on top there. So I used super glue to do this, and they work fine. This is not super glued on. This is put on with, I think I used mixed media. No, sorry, matte gel medium. to put this one on, but sometimes I use PVA glue, watered down PVA glue, like I do for decoupage, and put it on, and you can put it on any way you want. And this is just, you stencil a bit there and a bit there, and not all the way, because I use different texture too. So I painted it. This is also a Pringles jar, by the way, and I have some silk flowers in there. I still have the lid down here if I want to use it for something else. So the lid is there, it's painted, and it can be used. So that's a few things. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I think that was pretty much it. Just find a good storage for them until you have time to do something with them. Like this one, I need to clean because I really need these beads. These are stone beads and they look like turquoise, but I'm not 100% sure because there are, again, several different stones that look the same. And you can't just look at stones, like if you live in America, for example, you can't just look at stones that sell in America, because other countries have similar stones that are completely different. So since you don't know the origin of secondhand jewelry, you're not 100% sure. You can say it looks like turquoise and that it's a stone, and stuff like that. But if you're claiming 100% that it is a turquoise, then you need to have it tested, or you got to know where it comes from, stuff like that, because there are a lot of similar stones. So this one I'm actually going to detangle, because this is one of the stuff that I'm going to wash and take apart, and reuse the stones. So I would say about it's probably about half, no, not that much, but maybe about half the beads that I use are reused beads that come. There's a bit more work to it. I heard one person tell me that I should sell my stuff cheaper because I do reuse stuff. But the thing with reuse stuff, first of all, you got to find it. It takes a lot longer than to just click on a web page and just, I need this and that and that, and you can find the same type of bead. You can find it doesn't focus. You can find the same type of bead. You can find a ton of, you can bulk make stuff. You can buy, it's a lot easier and a lot faster to buy beads. It's a lot cheaper to do this, but it takes a lot more time to find them, first of all. Secondly, when you get them, they need cleaning, and some of them need a lot more than others. So this, oh, it's in the bathroom. I had one chain that I'm going to use later on today. I think I'm going to use anyway. And I washed it like 5 times already with, regular dish soap and stuff, and it still feels a bit grimy, and I feel these are feeling a bit I feel, so and I've had this for quite some time, so some of the yuckiness might be from just being with me, because I've had this for like, some of these I have for years, some of these are new to me, I should say. But anyway, sometimes you have to go over and clean the holes in them too, because most of the grime actually ends up in the holes here in the bead, and to clean that up takes a lot of time. So for these example, these took a long time to clean the holes in everyone, but I love these beads and they are absolutely gorgeous. Let's see if I can get the phone to focus with me. I don't know how well you can see this. You see the bands in there? These are so cool. And you can really see, I mean, I just love them. But cleaning the holes took forever. But then again, if you have like beads that you don't think you're going to use, like the plastic ones here, I just clean them so they feel clean. I don't bother cleaning the holes. I might give them away. I've been giving a lot of them to my friend's daughter. And if I give them away to a friend's daughter, my friend, oh, focus. My phone does not like focusing. It's like me, I can't focus on anything. I'm a bit better in the morning now, before I start to take all my allergy medicine, stuff like that, because that makes me tired and I absolutely can't focus. So filming in the morning is a good idea for me. Yeah, that one is plastic too. Thought that one might be glass. This is such a fun and strange and peculiar necklace. I mean, two stone beads, and then we have these yellow beads here that are ceramic beads. And I don't know. I don't want to taste this because I haven't washed it properly. I wash everything when I get them, you know, just once, just to get all of that stuff off. But they're still like yucky, so I don't want to put it in my mouth. But I'm not sure if this is a glass bead. I need to kind of... No, there must be plastic. So the plastic, ceramic, and stone, and this is another ceramic one, and it's a funky necklace. It is. It's fun. But it's not my style, and I really love those stones, so I'm gonna take it apart. And then probably give the rest of the beads to my friend's daughter for her to do something with. So these two and these two are gonna be cleaned today properly because I'm gonna use... Oh, I could talk about another little thing here that I'm gonna take this one apart, mainly because I need these. And I usually clean when it's small beads like this. Oh, I clean on the chain. It's a bit trickier to clean on the chain, so I usually prefer to take them apart. But when it's small beads like this, it's easier to clean on this way. It's a string, but it's easier to clean. But when you use straight beads like this for a bracelet or a necklace, I don't recommend using... come on. I was sort of focused. I don't recommend using them for like several at the time, like a long thing like that, because when it bends around your neck or your wrist, it does like this, and when you move around, it does this, and it pinches. I like this. I actually bought this one secondhand because I wanted to use it, because I really like the way it looked. But oh my goodness, it pinches hard. So it's not comfortable to wear. I have a necklace also that my ex gave me that also has straight beads. It's a different type of bead, but it's a straight bead. And if you put too many straight beads in a row on a bracelet and a necklace, they will pinch like this when you wear it, especially if you wear it for a longer period of time. So maybe if you want to use them, because they're pretty good to have in between, maybe use one or two, because this is two, and then you start the same pattern all over again, because then the thicker bead would be the one towards the skin, and here I have two, so if I have two in between, these two wouldn't touch the skin because they will be held up by the beads. So that's a little thing to think about when it comes to straight beads in jewelry. But they're really good to use like in between and to make kind of locks and to do stuff like this. Here I put the wire through and through. Oh, come on. No, I'm here. Please forget the table. Okay, so here I loop the wire through the bead, through this black bead, over this, and back down again. And I have this bead on top here to keep it from going back through and the beads from sliding off. So to have this kind of straight beads as stoppers, so smaller beads as stoppers, is awesome. For this I used like a small... Oh, this side is camera. Yeah, good. I'm gonna get used to this one day, I promise. It's just a lot easier to film having the phone coming from that direction than it is for me to have it from that direction. So you don't care about that, do you? Anyway, so here I used a smaller bead that I checked that it wouldn't go through, but it shows less of the wire.